Curve-Unplugged. I am your moderator, Nikki Dallas, for today's show. Today, our topic is, girl, are you too fat to love? And let's introduce everybody. I'll start on my right.
Perla Celeste, how you doing?
Coach Keish. Cola T. Kina Monique here.
So we came across this post that I'm going to read. This is the reason for the show. We thought it would be good because, we're really into body positivity and, we be big girls. So guys, if you see us and you meet us, you already know we big, right? But before I digress, this situation is a little different. So this guy posts that this is his situation. He's married. I'll just read it to you. Well, I'll read it. Here's the situation. I love her, talking about his wife. I promise I do, but she's testing that love. We've been married for 5 years. When we first got married, she weighed about 135 pounds and was gorgeous. That don't mean because you're 235 you ain't gorgeous, ladies. I'm just saying, but this is his thoughts. These are his thoughts and his feelings. Since we got married, she's taken on this whole extra personality. She's gained more than 60 pounds. The extra weight is not attractive to me at all. We are both school teachers, administrators, so we get home about 5 in the afternoon. I've expressed to her my concerns about the weight gain, suggested medical attention to see if there's a condition or something, purchased gym membership, started buying groceries for the house, and even cooking. Nothing has worked. She's complaining that I'm withholding sex, but that's not the case. I just don't like what I see, and it does not stimulate. Okay, I can't get aroused by a woman that complains and makes excuses all day. I don't like the sight of those rolls and extra meat. I love my wife, but I'm not in love with what she has become. I don't like what I see. I don't like what she's become, and I don't know what to do. Communication is not working, and I just can't make myself attracted to something that's not pleasing to me. What do I do? I want to help her, but I don't know how. I know this will.
This gonna take 2 hours.
Hey. Yeah, and I know it's treading on a lot of little nerves right now. And first, I guess I want to ask you ladies, we heard what this guy said. Mm-hmm. Do you feel, I don't even want to start with, do you feel that he's wrong for saying? Well, maybe. Do you feel that he's wrong for being honest about how he's feeling? Or would you prefer if he just sucked it up and not said anything? Do you think he's fair in feeling how he's feeling?
Of course he is. I feel like because he is going through lengths to help her, that it's not even just a selfish thing at this point. It's like you have to think about, I understand like people change and they grow when you're together, but if it's a drastic change, that could change how I see you. Mm-hmm. So if she's gained this weight and she was never like this before, I get that whole like my love don't change type of thing, but I was attracted to you when you look like this, and now you look like this, and I'm not really attracted to that. So what can we do to work that out? And if you're gonna stay like this, right, can we make it look a little so I think that his honesty is brave, because there are a lot of people that won't even be honest with you. To say like, so I like that he opened up about it.
What do you think, Kina?
I don't think it's an issue to be honest ever. Honesty is definitely important. But then we have to realize that this is a marriage, so we have to realize those vows that we made through better for worse. Mm-hmm. And I understand that he has his preference, but sometimes the losing weight thing is not just a physical thing, it can be a psychological thing. So I think he should be more sensitive, because a lot of times we judge based on things we haven't experienced. Because if you've been skinny all your life, you'll never understand, well, why isn't she just losing the weight? So sometimes we have to be a little bit more compassionate about the psychological things that are behind why a person cannot drop weight.
I think that he even touched on that though. He said that he's offered, he's asked her to see what's wrong, like medically, and she's being really stubborn right now.
So would it make a difference? He's talking about weight, but would it have made a difference? Or I'll put us in that scenario. If your spouse, his love machine no longer works, are you okay with that?
Why don't it?
Or
It doesn't. No, I'm saying it don't work because
Well, you got to press.
look.
Let's say you meet a guy and maybe he's not tall, big, and fine. He's a little thinner, but now after 5 years he gets a pot belly.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times as your stomach grows, the width draws back in.
Wait.
Okay,
You're
so
young. You're gonna.
No, I
so
understand.
like when guys, when their stomach is bigger,
Yeah, I know.
and as they lose weight, it,
Right.
so let's say after 5 years he
So
gets
the
a-
belly meat impacts the dick meat?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna play with you. I experienced that.
Yes, it does.
Gigi, I had a boyfriend when we
You
first
gonna say his
met.
whole name?
No, I said I had a boyfriend. That's all I said.
What's
You
G?
said
Gigi.
No, like that's like a term. Y'all so old, bruh. Yes, man. That's like.
That sounded like the dude's name.
I thought it was a nickname.
Oh my God.
Does that
no,
mean
that
so
mean like
for
for real.
So what does Gigi mean?
It mean for real.
For real.
Yeah. Hey yo, y'all know that I'm the youngest one, right? I'm the infant.
I'm like, you gonna
of
say
the
his
squad.
name?
No, I'm not gonna say his name. I just said a boyfriend.
Well, I'm interested to understand how does that affect it, because I know that doesn't.
So all guys with
Yeah.
fat bellies actually have big dicks. That's what you're telling me.
No,
It's a possibility.
So if they lose
It's
the
a
belly,
yeah.
they get a big dick.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I
Come
mean,
on. You can do
It
this.
does. He
You
was,
can do
when
this.
we first
You
started.
gained
Look.
some inches.
Right.
I don't know
No,
how
You
much.
gained a lot of inches. When we first started dating,
All
he was
this
like,
dick meat.
he was like
Yeah, I don't know if you do with
330
bellies
pounds.
anyway.
Like 330 pounds. He was like 6'4", 330 pounds. That's really big, even though he was 6'4". Trust me, he was yeah. Then, like about 3 or 4 months later, he dropped to like 240. And like the first time that we, I was like, okay, this is nice. It grows, but it's not like woohoo, right? So then later on, 3 or 4 months later, when he was like, now he's like 240 and he's still tall. I was like, wow, where did all that come from? What are we gonna
know that?
Wow.
This is like this
Y'all
is
didn't know
science. I did not know
Seriously, it
that.
grows.
Okay, so maybe that's not a good example. But let's suppose something happens to your spouse.
Look,
No,
let me
you
tell
said
you,
it the other
what
way
that
around.
example
Though.
they
If he was
gave-
small, I mean, and then he got
No,
bigger,
no.
then his little.
No, she's saying if it doesn't work. So that's a little different because like men would think, or people would think that if a woman, you can lose weight, but if the thing is malfunctioning, if it's what is
Let's
what is that terminology when it's not working?
Erectile dysfunction.
But let's say
Right,
it's
you go
because
easy.
he has high blood pressure or hypertension or he has
Right,
diabetes.
and those things trickle into other things because, for example, I knew an older woman, well into her 65, okay, who was newly married, and the gentleman's about the same age, and he needed to change the high blood pressure medication that he was taking to one that gave him ED, and she told him, don't take that because we need this part of our relationship, and he didn't really care about that, and he chose to take the new one, which he knew was going to cause him that, and eventually it did, and it ruined that part of the relationship. They just ultimately, broke up. They're still friends, but that she knew that was the end of that, So that was a little different. That's a little different, but it's some medications trickle into other things,
So could you be with someone if their stuff stopped working?
Do they other stuff work? Is
What
it
stuff?
you got mouths?
Can I have a side piece? I think that's a conversation that needs to be had.
But
Because
when you-
I would love you and I want to be with
So
you.
you will still stay with that person, but you need somebody on the side.
Probably throughout the year or month.
But what
I
if
just
it never gets back? Like it never works again.
No, but do
Right,
your other
I cannot be
stuff
stuck
work?
like that for the rest of my life.
So you can't stay.
No, but
I
do
could
your-
stay. I just
As long as you
need.
had some other stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I mean, I think that's a fair conversation to be had. Now, let me tell you something. I watched this lady on YouTube. There's this lady on YouTube. Her name is Adina Rivers, okay? And she taught me once, or I saw a video, how to make love to
Flaccid
a
people.
flaccid penis. I told you the story before.
You've shown me.
And I showed you the video. Because I think
What's
it's
a flaccid penis?
flaccid with ET.
Yes.
Flaccid, right?
Okay.
Oh my
A
God.
limp.
Look,
Okay,
right?
a
So
limp
basically,
penis.
you just
Get a
do
noodle.
the whole emotion as if you go through all the same process as if it was
You're acting.
Working.
working.
Okay.
But you hug them and you're on them, on top of them, right? You do everything that you would do if it was working.
Uh-huh.
But you still have that connection, and that's the whole point of it. The whole point is having that connection. Everybody's shaking their head,
Okay, so
but it is possible. So
She
the point
told you
is, I
how
will
to
not leave my
like a
husband.
13-year-old?
I will be with him, and I
So
will
y'all
show him
drive
love.
open.
So we 13 and we drive up there, because that's what I did when I was younger. Like,
Pretty much.
because
But
nothing
this
was
is your
going in.
husband.
I
That's
just
what
want you
Kina
to be
said.
like,
It's your husband, and you're married for better or for worse, and some things might change in the relationship. You show them that love, you're with them, and maybe
Okay.
towards some point of the conversation, if it's years in, if the ED hasn't changed, if Viagra isn't working, either you say it or you just do it. But
I need,
you're
your,
out there, it's not
I need
happening.
your other stuff to work. Does your tongue still work? It
Oh, it
works.
will, but-
Get your exercises on, because you're going to have to put in work.
So you can stay as long as others the tongue.
Yes, as long as your
Okay,
mouth
Kina,
still
Can
works.
you stay if his junk stop working?
Okay.
But
So-
just nothing ain't, never mind.
No, not if everything
The
else
tongue is not gonna stop working.
But to kind of address
Oh my God.
where we were in the topic with this guy saying he's not attracted, I think this is a person you're saying you're still attracted to even though he's gained weight. He is saying I'm not even attracted to her anymore
Mm-hmm.
because of the weight gain.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't particularly say that's so wrong because again, yes, we want to romanticize marriage and falling in love as, rainbows and yellow brick roads and unicorns shitting out Skittles. But the reality is that you fell in love with things about this person as well. And in the fact that yes, we do grow and things do change and time has its way of taking a toll on situations, if the things that you were attracted to in that person begin to change, then it could easily change your attraction to them. And I think that could be the ugly side of being fat. Like we're all confident plus size women and we do our thing, but there's ugly sides to it as well because yes, there are people who may think you're an amazing woman, but would choose not to have a woman with extra belly or extra whatever extra arms, like my arms, they may choose that is just too much extra for them. And he married a 135-pound woman. Imagine what you at 135 pounds looks like versus you at 235 pounds. Like that's a whole person that you just added.
Very different.
And that absolutely could impact their set. Maybe he could pick her up once upon a time and walk around the room with her. And now he can't pick her up no more. So I could see where that ugly side of the weight gain. I don't think he's so wrong if he's even offered gym membership. I'm gonna do this with you. I'm gonna cook. We're gonna stop eating out so that we can eat better. And ultimately, maybe he feels like live longer.
Right.
So I do think that it's his side of the story, but what is she saying or thinking? Is she just feeling like, well, hell? And how many women get the ring and then let everything go? All the stuff you used to do before we got married, now we are married, you don't want to do none of that no more.
But see, that's why I say you need to know who you're marrying.
You will never know that until you're
Never.
married.
I mean, you.
Not
or
even after you
like
marry
some-
him.
I mean, just saying, like, if you know you're marrying a guy who is about image, you need to.
You don't know that until you are no
You
longer
do.
his image. No, you don't.
No,
you don't.
And
You
this is
really
American
don't.
people telling you,
And
you know.
this is until things change. But
Yeah.
but I think that's a good segue. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We will be back and 2 and 2. And please remember, subscribe to our channel. We have a giveaway sweepstakes going on that we're going to talk about at the end of the show. But please subscribe. And if you're looking, we know it's pre-recorded. Please give us your comments because we read the comments. We want to know what you guys think. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
This is Cola T, and you're watching the Curve-Unplugged.
And we are back. So before we left, Keena told us we should know who we're marrying. So you will already know if he like fat girls, if he like your role, if he don't. You should already know that before you marry him. So I want to ask you, Keena, because I think we talked about this before. So in your opinion, how long does it take you to really know who you're marrying?
Well, I mean, I've been doing it all wrong in my previous relationships, but I would like to at least the maximum 3 years to get to know somebody, to understand what their perspective about life is, because you're not going to know someone 100% before you marry them, but you will know if they're narcissist, if they're vain, if they're image conscious, and that's okay. But if you know, well, if I gain some weight, I'll take my time losing it because it's not that deep for me. If you're that type of person, you shouldn't be with a guy who is image conscious.
Okay. So what do you think, Coach?
I'm curious as to the definition of image conscious.
Exactly,
in
because
this, in this realm, because I feel like, do I have to be image conscious or conceited or a narcissist if my attraction to you, part of that attraction was your physique, and that changed. It's not, I always look at image conscious as about what other people think. And I'm talking about what I think and what I was attracted to when I met you. And if that changed, like right now, let's say it's you, with a woman that I know you to be, the go-getter, you're very passionate about your career as a songstress, as an entertainer, and you just decide to just change that altogether. You just now, and nothing against the church people, but all you want to do is be in church Monday to Sunday. That is a big change from the woman that I met. So I don't know that makes me image conscious if you take away something from the relationship that I met you and became attracted to you because of.
And I think that I personally don't think that, well, I know personally, my parents have been together for 47 years, going on 47 years. And there's things, and what I do know is people change, people grow. So a lot of things happen where you've been together with 5 years, but now I'm 30, and the things I liked to do 5 years ago, the person I was 5 years ago, I'm not that person anymore. So does that mean that you don't know me because now I've evolved into something different? And I say that because my parents have been together so long. There are so many things right now they're discovering about each other after 47 years of marriage. And it's partly because they're both retired and they don't work as much. Now they're around each other so much. There's so many things. Now they're like, I didn't know she liked that, or I didn't know he liked that, or I didn't know he did that, because now they're rediscovering all the stuff about each other. So I don't think even in a marriage that you don't truly know that person, I don't think you're ever going to know that person. Because again, we should always evolve. So a lot of things change and happen, and we should all be renewing ourselves at some point.
Right, but at this point, we're talking about basically, am I too fat? Yeah, appearances.
Right.
So it's like he stayed the same. He still likes what he liked when he was with you originally. So it's not about evolving, it's about the fact that he stayed the same and he wants that, what it used to be. So so let's say this, because I know this happened to someone I know. So this is someone who was plus size already, because we're talking about 200, 250, 240. 240, have a baby, 290, baby's born. Fluctuation of weight, 315, guy's not happy,
So
but
that
you hear
person started at 250,
240,
240, and now they're at 315.
315.
Okay.
So what is that? That's 60, right? About 60 pounds,
Yeah,
seven,
about 60.
whatever. So the person was plus size already, obviously, because at 240, you're not tiny. And there's the change. And, you know, similar to that letter, you know, this girl posted a letter just like that in one of those social media things, sort of asking advice. And ultimately, it was sort of an ultimatum at the end in that relationship, because see, what happens is no one kind of gets to that, and I'm saying a man, to sort of verbalize that until maybe they're pressed for it. They will say it in many ways, sort of getting you to the gym and getting you to whatever. But for that friend of mine, for her it was more like, well, I don't want to do it because you want me to do it. I want to do it when I want to do it. And so that sort of affected that relationship, where towards the end they were no longer having sex. They were no longer doing that because it never got to the point where he was attracted anymore, and she was done. Like, well, if you're not attracted, then fine. And so it was kind of like that sexless marriage until it eventually ended. So, and I know that, you know, in conversations with her and people that she trusted with this, it was more like she appreciated the honesty, you know, but then I feel like at some point when you're 240, you're already plus size, like you marry a skinny girl. So then I would feel like it would go back to what Kina says, you know, you married someone, you know, it should be for better or for worse. So, you know, it's kind of like hard to balance it.
Or maybe that's his worst.
Right, and she clearly understood it, and then so it was basically like everybody just standing their ground, because maybe right now, you know, the person could get the weight together and go back down to 240, but then how about if it happens again? So now there's a threat of the relationship ending again. It's like, you know, I have to stay at 240.
And
I mean, I don't know.
You know, I think even about that is, if suppose it was me, if I'm not attracted to you because you've changed, because I know we always say men are visual creatures, but we're all visual creatures, because when you meet someone, you're looking at them and you're attracted to what you see.
Right, because you don't know them yet.
And if it was me and I'm like, you know, I'm not attracted to this person no more, I can't have sex with them anymore, and I'm honest with them, at that point, staying in a marriage, how fair would it be for either one of us? Because I'm not at that place. If I can't give myself to you, because I think that sex is really important in a marriage, in a relationship. If I can't give myself to you like that, and you still really want it, and we both still want it, I just can't give it to you, how fair is it for you or I at that point? Because if you're not attracted and you don't turn them on, or they don't turn you on, what is there left to do?
Right, I feel like people
But to break up.
I feel like people put so much pressure on marriages. Like, things are not supposed to evolve or change, or like you're not supposed to have different wants, you know, or preferences, because I married you like this, so this is all I want. Like, you can't change, you can't become more, you can't become, you know, you can't have a downfall, you can't do anything, you just have to be what you were at the moment that you got married. So like the whole with him feeling the way that he feels about her weight, I feel like it was good for him to be honest and to offer that help. Now, whatever she is going through that's not receiving it well, because obviously she's not receiving it well because she's not trying to allow the assistance. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to go to the doctor and see if you're sick or something. So at this point, not only is he not attracted to her physically, because he said that all she does is complain, now he's not attracted to her mindset. Right. So now we're having a disconnect here. So it's like it's like trickling down.
You're chipping away.
Right.
There's a song to me, I think we were talking about this.
Yes, I was just about to say
because in the
that.
song she says, is it that I've changed and you remain the same? And the truth is that although we're all evolving, some things about us at our core will always be the same. And if part of me at my core is I need this thing to be happy, I don't think it has anything to do with, there's no negative connotation to it. At the end of the day, this is what I need. If it's I need someone who is a provider financially, then that's what I need at my core. And if that changes, then ultimately it will impact the relationship that we're in. If I need a partner who is going to be able to have my back if I can't do something, and all of a sudden you are not capable of being that partner anymore, then the relationship ultimately changes. If I like to party and hang out and we met in the club, and you've evolved to this place where now you are disgusted by the idea of going to the club, then something at the core of the relationship has changed. I do think that we put a lot of pressure on marriage and a lot of pressure on relationship because we assume that in a marriage, in a committed relationship, that we just roll with any and everything that happens. But that we're having a human experience. We're having a human experience. And sometimes in that experience, the changes that occur, we're not always right there in that moment able to receive that change. I applaud him for being able to verbalize it, because do we know how, I know I've been in that situation where someone disappeared out of my life without explanation. Just didn't call, didn't email, didn't text, didn't fax, didn't instant message, didn't DM, did nothing.
Courier pigeon.
Just nothing, with no explanation. And so many women go around saying, he never gave me this closure, he never gave me an explanation, I never know what happened. But this guy was able to verbalize what was bothering him. And who was she to not even receive what he was saying? Even if her answer was, you know, this has me in such a funk right now, I can't even address it at this moment, baby. At least she would have validated his feelings and let him know that I see it, I understand what you're feeling, but unfortunately right now, I'm not in a place I can change it. Not at this moment. She just kind of seems to have disregarded it.
Or maybe she was feeling, you know how we do. Well, you know, it's just a little, you need, it's just more you love. Like, maybe she don't feel like it's a problem.
Right.
Or maybe she's just like it.
Okay, please, shift.
Now, in today's society, we have a lot of independent women, and we as women have taken on this masculine energy because sometimes we've had to, and sometimes we want to prove something.
Right.
Now, with women, a lot of women do gain weight because number one, our jobs are too stressful. Number two, because at the end of the day, we can do what a man can do, but we're not going to handle it the same. Stress for us does make us gain weight, and it does put us into depression and having a job that stresses you out. So with society, I would like men to be a little bit observant of that, because if I was a stay-at-home wife and my husband wants me to be skinny, I have all the time in the world to make sure I look up to par. But if I'm constantly stressed out at work, I can't come home and cook, I have to eat junk food all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is people's reality, and they're not going to be the healthiest.
And I can agree
That's true.
to a certain point, because in his just reading
How it
what he
happens.
wrote, he never sought mental health. He said he went to the medical doctor to see if there was something medically wrong, but maybe there's something mentally wrong that is blocking her for even accepting or what is something that is going on with her.
But if she doesn't even go to her medical doctor, like I think you rule out things by, okay, you go to, I go to my medical doctor every year for my exam, and you know what she says? You're fat for no reason, because nothing is wrong with you.
Yep.
So ultimately, things are going to be wrong with you in the long run because you're fat. There's ugly sides to being this amazing, you know, there's ugly side to it. But at the end of the day, she didn't seem receptive to anything that he came up with. So maybe he didn't come up with, because honestly, people of color, if he is, we do not welcome the idea of going to therapy and the psychiatrist. We were not raised to think that that was even an alternative for us.
Right.
You either went to the doctor, meaning your medical doctor, or you went to church. Those were your two options.
Yep.
And since we shy away from it so much, what option did he may not have even thought of that as an option. But she didn't suggest it either. But you
Because
know
she
what
doesn't think, when you have a mental something going on, that's not the
You
first
don't
thing you
know.
think. You don't think that
Yeah.
there's something mentally wrong with me.
Yeah.
You just think I'm fat and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm just gonna sit here.
But you know what? We don't really have the actual details. We just got his post. So what
Yeah,
if
you
he
don't
wasn't
know.
right? So what if he wasn't coming at her from a loving place? What
That's
if he
right.
was coming at her
She
nasty
was
with?
feeling attacked.
Yeah, what she was feeling attacked,
But
like
feeling
whoa,
attack
whoa, whoa.
could be a perception and not a reality. You know, because if
But that's her reality.
Exactly. But if you feel like, okay, I know I'm fat. So a lot of times fat girls or fat men, they tend to say like, oh, with my fat ass, Like we throw that in there already to kind of take the sting off of it, so you don't get your say, you know.
Right.
So my curiosity is, I would love to hear her side of this,
Yeah.
because if she is feeling attacked, if she is like kind of being defiantly fat, because there's such thing as that.
It is.
Absolutely.
Since you're trying me, bitch, I'm gonna get fatter.
That's-
Fuck you.
that's
You know, if that's how she's feeling, then she is not even empowering herself to do what she needs to do for her.
Well, that is a good place to take a
For
break.
real.
Remember, again, we want you guys to subscribe to our channel. Again, we are having a sweepstakes we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. And we are giving away something really, really nice. Either an Apple iWatch or Samsung or another Android watch. If we reach 100 subscribers, we will choose
1,000.
Did I say 100?
You
You
said
said
100.
1,000. I'm so sorry. We have
1,000.
1,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed and you want to join the sweepstakes, even if you don't want to join the sweepstakes, still subscribe. Subscribe to our channel, please, 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 and we'll be back with our final thoughts on this topic in 2 and 2. Hey, this is Nikki Dollars, and you are watching the Curve-Unplugged. Welcome back. So our topic today was, are you just too fat? To love. And then we started with open letter from this guy who's married and his wife had gained some weight. And before we give our final thoughts, I think Keena, you wanted to get our take on something.
I would like you ladies to answer this question. If, as women, we took out the survival element of the day-to-day struggle of living and the stress, and we were not stay-at-home wives, that's one, but maybe had less of a responsibility to co-provide, would we be plus size, or would we be healthier? What would it be? Like, I personally, I want to be this glamorous wife or whomever my husband is, but give me time to be that. I can't do that and co-provide with you, you know?
I will still be fat. I got here before. I got here before the whole marriage thing. You know, I've been fat, so I'm not unhealthy. I'm not unhealthy. My doctor was like, "You're good," you know. So there's no unhealthy factor about me being plus size. You know, this is what God put together in this little package. 5'4". So
I think I would probably still be plus size.
Oh, a little curvier though. Okay, I'll give that to us. Like we would be more toned, you know, because I would do my little 30 minutes in the living room, but that's it. I'm still gonna eat this good chicken.
If I didn't have to work, I would probably be plus size, but I would probably be a lot smaller because I would have the time and opportunity and the wherewithal to do everything that it takes to eat clean and be healthy. Because let me tell you, that is a lifestyle. It's not just you decide on today I'm just gonna have a salad and you think that's good. There is meal prep, and I'm talking about, you know how we think on the way home we're gonna go to the grocery store and pick this up and this is what we're gonna cook. When you're deciding to live healthier, that's a choice. It's something you're doing every day. You're planning your meals out, if you're on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you're doing this stuff constantly, because in reality, you know, you can't decide, okay, I'm just gonna, every now and then, I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get a quarter pounder, or I'm gonna go to wherever, Burger King, or I'm gonna go slide, get this pizza. It becomes a lifestyle where this is an everyday thing. You really have to think and plan this thing out. And yes, going to work every day, and maybe you got a test, or you're going to school, you got to pick up the kids, you got to get the kids up early. It's hard to sit here and think every day, okay, let me go to the grocery store for this week because I'm going to have Brussels sprouts, my breakfast tomorrow, I'm going to have oatmeal and this, and on Thursday night, I'm going to have baked chicken. Like, we can't.
Right, and the kids ain't even gonna eat that. So you gotta make your food and
Yeah,
some
they
food
food.
for the kids.
Right. So
And the husband sometimes.
yeah.
If he
Because
needs to be in a diet.
Exactly. That's why I ain't on a diet. That's you. So I think I would be a little healthier. I would definitely probably still be plus size, but I would probably be a little smaller. But definitely because, yeah, that ain't easy. It looks good. You see all the people doing the videos and they working out. They got their shakes. That shit is hard.
So the moral of the story would be that what we need is a man to be able to provide completely, so we don't have to be out there having to support the home as well, and we can then focus on us and the children. That's it. Because I agree with you. That's exactly how I would be. You know, if I don't have to be a single mom and run around and pay all bills and all that by myself, yeah, sure, I'll find that time.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's my real. My problem is not necessarily just my busy life. I'm lazy. That's the real. Because if I even had all that, there was a point in time where I didn't work for months. I didn't go to the gym then. You know, and the gym was free. It was in the complex. I could have just walked over there at 2 o'clock, 4:30, whatever time. But
you were stressed because you needed to find a job.
But here's the deal. Minnie Mouse and Jessica Rabbit got the same 24 hours in a day. And sometimes, and even with Nikki was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go work out before she was going to her job. And you could see the results because she was committed to doing it. I agree that life is stressful and that we are busy, multifaceted, talented, dynamic women, and we are moms and all these other great things, but we make time for what we want to have time for. I see all of us posting pictures when we're out doing, except you, Keena. I don't see you posting a lot, like I'm out in the world pictures, but when you're singing and you're doing your covers of certain artists' music, like I see us doing the things that we choose to do. And if our commitment was on our longevity and our overall health, we could make time to do those things as well. We could absolutely still have these busy, demanding lives and make time to have a healthy consistency.
When I'm asleep.
Exactly.
You
I
just-
have a coworker.
You sleep
I have
better
a coworker
when you
that
work
does
out.
that, too.
No,
Like,
you don't.
yes, you do.
No,
It is a
you
real
don't.
rest-
You
yes,
want
it
to
is.
You
Rest-
don't absolutely
It is true.
do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
Because
sir.
listen, when you work out, number one, you release endorphins.
Exactly.
It makes you happy. You know that?
It makes me stressed.
No.
This is when I.
You're not the right way.
Releasing endorphins, thereby releasing the stress.
Y'all,
Exactly.
y'all, you can't talk because you just said you lazy.
But
Was you working out when you had a
She's
3-year-old?
worked out before. She knows.
I did.
When you had a 3-year-old?
Yes. When I had one child, when I had 2 kids, and when I had several kids living in my house. When I was committed to doing it, I got up and did it. Did I have to do it while everybody in the house was asleep? Yes, because when that little kid who wore a Spider-Man costume for a whole year, when he was running around and acting crazy, I still had to do for him. So yes, and yes. Nikki was in a master's program and working full time and still working out. And like dropped 75 pounds.
I'm tired. More
Now,
you.
She was, listen to what I'm saying, because she was working out, she was releasing a lot of that negative energy, a lot of that stress, and it made her be able to go through her
Open
work
the
day
brain
and
cells.
school
Got it.
and open up her
But I
mind.
can't enjoy my life.
No. This we gotta do. This is what you just said. This is what we gotta do. So ready. Every time you about to stress, go to the gym.
No.
And just
That's
let it out on the treadmill.
Just let it all out. Like, the real of it is it does take time to formulate that is part of your routine.
But
And I'm
it's
not
not.
pretending like it's simple. I'm not pretending that it's simple. I'm saying it's doable because there are women out here with more kids than we have, with so much other stress, and they're still getting it done. Yes, in a perfect world, everybody would have a wealthy spouse who they could just go to the gym and do Housewives of Fort Lauderdale all day long. That would be great. But here's the reality of it. That's not how we live, but we can make time to have a healthier overall disposition in our lives.
Even if you include your kids, maybe you have little kids, you can't take them with you, but if you have one, you can put them in a stroller, you can push the stroller and walk. Or if your child is old enough, maybe they'll walk with you. We can include our kids. I think that's one of our issues as people of color. We don't start early enough with our kids, teaching them healthy eating habits and healthy exercise habits, so they grow up and they just become us.
Who does the grocery shopping? So if we don't buy as many sugary snacks in our homes, if we don't buy the Oreos, although Oreos are life, if we don't buy the sugary snacks and we purchase healthier snacks and they don't know no different, they're gonna eat what you put in there. But because we've already introduced them to sugary snacks, now how do you turn that around and say, tonight we're having Brussels sprouts. Tonight everybody's eating a green leafy salad because we didn't start doing that with them.
I just thought, sorry, really quick. I just thought of something. Why, when it comes to us, the women, why we got to include the kids and everything? Why I can't have my workout session to myself?
You
Why I
can't.
don't have to
You
worry
can't.
about anything? I
So
don't
you
want to
may have
incorporate
to-
no damn children.
You may have to work out when children are sleeping. Like you may have to do some things at that time where the kids are already engaged in something else, even if that is bedtime, so that you would have time to take in for yourself. Last
The
we
gym
talked
closes
about
at 11.
one of our segments. We talked about was checking in
24 hours.
Like
checking
12,
in with
yeah,
yourself and
24
being
hours.
self-accountable. And that's, to me, part of doing that is taking out time that is just for you. Cola mentioned getting her nails done. That was her me time. But that could also be gym. That could also be working out, walking the trail at one of these parks. That could also be getting a bike, a stationary bike, and riding it. Like, that could still be so many other things. We are not utilizing the time that we have in a way that speaks positively to our overall health. I don't remember taking vitamins, but you know what I did? I take all my vitamins to work. So my desk looks like a pharmacy. So there's 14 different types of vitamins I take. Not really 14, but like 2 of this one, 2 of that one, whatever. But at the end of the day, because they're right there in my face, I have no choice but to remember to take them.
Yeah.
If I left them at home in the cabinet, I'm running late to work, I'm rushing, I'm grabbing my stuff, and I get to work and go, damn it, I didn't take my vitamins. But they're on my desk. So you have to set up your life in a way that contributes to your overall health and not takes away from it. Because the man in your life is not your savior. I need us to remember that. Disney lied to us. There is no white horse with a man sitting on top of it, galloping to your rescue. He is not your savior. He is your partner. And even the best of husbands could fall ill. And what happens if your husband is now totally dependent on you for everything? How draining will that be if you don't take any time out for yourself, and you will begin to resent that man? I am telling you this from experience. Time for you has to be your #1 priority, even above your kids, because a healthy woman makes a healthy mother. A healthy woman makes a healthy wife. And without that, everything else goes to shit.
Yep.
But see, that's that thing that I was talking about before. We as women in our femininity, okay? Yes, we can get it done when the kids are asleep, but I'm also one of those sleep because I just help them with homework, okay? I'm tired, so that's what I'm saying. Like, men are very well at cramming everything in one day and being fine. But me as a woman, I can do it, but it's gonna stress me that I don't want
And
to
men
do
of
that.
color die faster than we do. Do you know how many men do not outlive their husbands?
You don't go that wide.
I'm so sorry. Well, they might have a husband. They might have a husband, my bad. But how many husbands do not outlive their wives? Because they internalize more. They internalize more than we do. We don't internalize it. We cuss everybody out in the whole house, including the dog. The men, they internalize what's hurting them and bothering them, and then they drop dead. And everybody's shocked. Like, what happened? Pearl lost a very good friend of hers this week. He wasn't old and decrepit.
And he wasn't unhealthy.
And he wasn't unhealthy. But he was probably internalizing a lot of shit that he didn't express in any way, because as women, we have a tendency to think that's whining when a man expresses certain feelings to us. So at the end of the day, we're all stressed out. We just express our stress in different ways. And if women are outliving men, then even at our unhealthiest, we are obviously still doing better than them.
Yeah. Well, that's an imbalance to me. It really is, because if it's not healthy for men, it ain't healthy for us either.
Correct.
I see something wrong with going to bed at 11:30 after finishing my workout and then waking up at 6 to go to work. I find something wrong with that.
If you
And I
do-
understand that's not everybody's reality, where they can just be a stay-at-home wife, but come on, like, you need to be more understanding of me as a woman. If you want me to be this doll for you and be smaller, okay, give me the lifestyle that I can do that for you.
So
Because
do
that's
you
just,
want it
that's
for
not the way
yourself?
I live life.
Here's my question. Without him saying a word, do you ever look in the mirror? Because I do. And I just want to be healthier for me. Like, my grandmother had diabetes, high blood pressure. She survived dialysis for about 10, 15 years, and
Wow.
a stroke and a heart attack. And I I watched her go to dialysis and come home just wiped out and tired, and I do not want that to be my reality. Whether I have a spouse or not, I don't want that to be my reality. So even with all the stuff I got going on in my life, I gotta make a change so that that is not my reality. My grandmother was once a thick girl, and by the time she passed away, she was less than 100 pounds because she allowed all the stress of life and her medical conditions to did she live a full life? I say no, because she spent 3 days a week in dialysis for 6-7 hours.
Of course.
That's not living your life. So even no matter how tired I may be, I need to convince myself that I have to do better, because the ugly side of being fat is that eventually your body is tired of the neglect. You can't blame, when you're in dialysis, you can't blame no damn body else for that.
I mean, and I get what both of you are saying, because I get what Keena is saying. And sometimes you just want to breathe. You just want to breathe. You just don't want to have to think about bills. You just want to do you for a minute, even if it's for a year or two. You just want to do you, so you can maintain or do some things you want to do. So I get both of what you're saying, because sometimes I feel like I just want to break. Like, if I met somebody right now and tell me I ain't have to work, I'm gone. You want to move me where? Y'all just come get whatever y'all want. I'm out. I ain't even gotta take no photos.
Sofa.
I'm good. So I do, but I do think it is a personal commitment. But I do understand that sometimes you do, especially if you've been doing this for a long time, grinding for yourself. You just like, listen, I just need a break for a minute. And I know as women, we don't always get that break. We seem like it's always men who get that break, and we don't. So I do understand.
But before we go, I just want to bring it back to the question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you too fat to be loved? That's the question.
Yes.
Right? No, because there's a whole show, my 600-pound life.
All of
And
it.
everybody in there.
Yeah.
So no, you're not. You're not. You know what I'm
You
saying?
don't want your man rinsing you down with a water hose
I
sitting outside on the
I mean, I don't want that.
God
I don't want that. But if it came down to it, his ass better be down there with that hot water hose, lifting it up.
No, friend, no.
Roll it back. Roll it
No.
back.
Roll out. Roll.
That show, it bothers me to my core. I just can't be, I don't want to have to sit outside.
Let me tell you something. I watched it to really start a diet the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I'm like, I want to be like that. Lord, oh my God. I watched it just to do that, to propel me.
It's one thing.
Propel me into doing something about
Are
myself.
we fat shaming right now?
We are.
I don't think so, because what I feel like at the end of it all is like, when you get to the place where even self-care, you can't, and these are not
And they can't
90-year-old people.
No,
These are
young.
young women and men, and you mean to tell me you cannot even wash your own cooter? That's Christy word. You can't even wash your own cooter? It's time to change something?
Yeah.
So we all agree that we're not too fat.
No, you're not
Definitely
too fat
not.
to love.
We absolutely feel that, especially in a situation with the guy's letter, open letter, that he is within his right to feel
Yes.
how he feels.
Yes.
He is.
If that's what he's attracted to or not attracted to, he has every right
To
to
feel that way.
say whoever. We all have even as women, whoever you are, you have every right to say how you feel.
Mhm.
If it's something that's bothering you, you're not hey, you know what? You used to drag your right toe when you walk, now you drag your left toe. That shit bothers the hell out of me.
We gotta do a show about our pet peeves and things that bother you about people, because I have one now that I'm like, I cannot take it.
But if it's something that bothers you, I don't think anyone is not within their right to say it. And sometimes it's very uncomfortable. We all know sometimes talking about weight, finances, very uncomfortable.
Very
But if that's what you feel, that's what you feel.
Yeah, and you're allowed.
And you're
And I applaud him for being able to verbalize it.
Yeah.
Because so many people will walk away and never say why.
They'll never say what it actually was. They'll make something else up
Mhm.
to be like, oh, this is what it is, but that's really not what it is.
Or
Like,
by the time you talk to them, it's like so many years have passed, I don't even remember.
right.
No, or find that one thing, the catalyst, something so simple, blew
Yeah.
up and now you're gone. It's like, what?
What?
You know?
Really?
I ain't say what? Because the milk was for.
Right. I burnt the chicken.
Right, now you're done. So, all in all, guys, speak your truth. Your honesty is golden, it's priceless. It's your truth. and your honesty, and we want you to live it.
Yeah.
So until next time, I'm your girl, Nikki Dollars, signing off. Remember, subscribe to our channel so you can enter into our sweepstakes. 1,000 subscribers. We are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Y'all know y'all love us, so subscribe to our channel.